Hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm doing the makeup book tag. I filmed this tag a bajillion years ago, and then I ended up losing the footage before I was able to totally upload it, so I decided that today was a good opportunity for me to actually finally do it. But this tag was originally created by Beth Ann, and I was tagged by a bunch of people a really long time ago. I think Miss Sassy Cassie tagged me, I think Sierra Reeds tagged me, I think Kelly's Bookspill tagged me, I think Little Red Raider tagged me. Basically all my friends who have done the makeup book tag have tagged me in it. So I'm finally getting the chance to do it. Basically there are a list of questions that are compiled that have to do with makeup products, and the way that BookTube seems to be doing it is we talk about the book that we chose for that question while doing that part of our makeup routine. I have never not worn any makeup on YouTube, so this is weird, but let's get into it. So the first question is foundation, and that is your favorite first book in a series. The book I am going with is The Selection by Kara Cass. And then for my foundation routine, I have three products that I use. The first is the Mary Kay Liquid Concealer, then the Mary Kay Liquid Foundation, and then the Mary Kay Mineral Powder. So let's see if I can actually properly talk about this book while doing my makeup. Basically, for a really long time, I was super apprehensive about starting the selection. I just heard so many bad things about America and that she was an annoying main character, and I hate annoying main characters, so I really did not want to start it at first. And then I forget who it was that actually got me hooked on the selection. I think it was Little Red Reader who was just raving about it, and she finally made me want to start it, and I'm so happy that she convinced me to start it. I'm honestly surprised with how much I actually enjoyed it because it's one of my favorite reads of 2015. I actually flew through the series, but the selection, the actual first book that I showed you, is definitely my favorite. I totally sped through the series. I think I read the entire series in like the span of a week, if not less. It was just a super easy, fun, quick read, but it was also like really, really amazing. If you're a fan of dystopians that like promote girl power, this is totally the book for you. And if you've heard things about America, which I'm sure you have if you're on BookTube, I know a lot of people don't like her, but honestly I didn't have a lot of problems with her. I actually ended up really liking America, although there are definitely points in the series where I'm like, oh my god, you're so annoying, shut up. But everyone says that. Every main character gets annoying every once in a while, especially a female YA protagonist, let's be real. But altogether the series was really great, and if you haven't picked up the selection, I really, really recommend it because I feel like a lot of my viewers who agree with me on my certain types of genres will enjoy the selection. That's all I really have to say about the selection, so I'm just gonna speed up my bronzer really quickly. Foundation's done. So I'm gonna switch around the questions a bit because I like to do my makeup in a specific order and I don't feel like changing it for the sake of this tag. But I'm also doing one of the questions that Kelly's Bookspill added, which is eyebrows. The question that Kelly came up with is a book or genre that is essential to your collection. The genre that I'm going with is contemporary fantasy, and the book I decided to show for that is one of the first contemporary fantasies that I've read, and that is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. So for my eyebrow routine, I only use the Anastasia Brow Wiz from Sephora. So I've wanted to make a video about contemporary fantasy for a while because I only just discovered that it was a legitimate genre. I've just come to realize that whenever I talk about my favorite fantasy books, which happen to be my favorite books, they always take place in a modern world, and there's like a magic hidden world underneath it all. But I mean, take a look at all my favorite series like Harry Potter and Vampire Academy and Mortal Instruments. Obviously they all take place in a world where magic is kind of hidden from the rest of the world. And then there's series like Lord of the Rings and Throne of Glass that the magic is already there, and I feel like with those kind of series where like there's already a magical presence, it's like less magical, if that makes sense. Favorite thing about contemporary fantasy is the fact that it always starts out with somebody who's unsuspecting, and then the magic unfolds as they discover the world. So take Twilight for example. Bella has no idea that werewolves and vampires exist, and so I think the fact that like Bella doesn't expect it and she's just learning about it just makes the story more magical. You know, I'll always love fantasy. I've always loved different kinds of fantasy, but I definitely prefer contemporary fantasy the most. My eyebrows are not coming out right in this video. I'm so upset. Okay, so my eyebrows totally did not come out the way that I wanted them to for this video, but there's not much else I can do at this point. Basically, contemporary fantasy is my all-time favorite series, and I just love the magical aspect of it that differs from other fantasies. The next question is eyeshadow, and that is for a book that has your favorite colors on the cover. For this one, I am going with my new edition of City of Glass by Cassandra Clare that I just got in the mail today. And then for my eyeshadow routine, I am using the Mary Kay Eye Primer, the Physicians Formula Nude Palette, and the Urban Decay Naked 2 Palette. With some of this eye primer fast. So now there's really not much to say for this question. I mean, on the cover it's gray, white, and black, and my favorite colors are gray, white, and black. That's basically all I can really say about this question, so I'm just gonna do like a time lapse of me doing my eyeshadow. I forgot to mention what colors I'm using for my eyeshadow, so I guess I'll start that after I finish my inside corner. So on the Physicians Formula palette, what I use is I use this champagne color for my inner corner of my eyes, which I just did, and then this like goldy orangey color for like the middle of my brow bone, whatever this area is called. And then on the Naked 2 palette, I use Booty Call for the actual highlight under my brows, and then I use Half Baked for the inside of my eyelid, and then I use Snake Bite on the corners. My eyebrows right, can't do the showing of the makeup right. I'm surprised if any of you are still watching. I will use the same color pattern I used to cross my lids to go underneath, so I'm going to do that today too. Oh my god, I just realized my AC has been on this whole time. I sincerely apologize that I forgot to turn off my AC. I got so hot before and I just couldn't take it. Literally, this video was such a fail. Alright, well that is it for the eyeshadow, so let's move on to eyeliner, which is pick a dark or mysterious book. For this, the only one I feel is fitting is Volition by Lily Paradise. And then for my eyeliner, I just use the Kat Von D tattoo liner. And considering I can barely do eyeliner when I'm sitting quietly by myself, I probably can't do while talking, so I'm gonna have to start and stop, okay? So I generally don't read a lot of dark books, but Lily Paradise is one of the authors that I really enjoy working with. She sent me Volition to review, but basically the main character is just always talking about how there's like this darkness inside of her. She just had like a really rough past, and like she's done things that she isn't proud of and done things that she wishes she could take back. And so Tate, the main character, moves all the way to New York City to escape all the stuff that's been clouding her past. And of course, she meets a boy who is obviously very supporting of her, not wanting to talk about her past, and kind of embraces this darkness inside of her. And it's super romantic, but there are parts of this book that make me want to be like, whoa, I need to step back for a second. Like I said, I don't read a lot of dark books, so I don't really have much to go off for this answer. But I mean, the tagline of this book is "My soul is blacker than my heart," so obviously there's something dark going on in this book. My eyeliner isn't even, so I have to fix it. I knew this was gonna happen. I just can't have one time for me to do my makeup right on camera. My liner came out too long and too thick, and this tag is just really not working for me. Then we move on to mascara, which is pick a long book. For this, I'm going with Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. And so the mascara I use is the Mary Kay Lash Love Lengthening Mascara. My mom sells Mary Kay, so that's why there's so much of it here. But basically I picked Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix because it's the longest book on my shelf and it's the longest book I've ever read. Whenever I reread the Harry Potter series, and I try and reread it once a year, I always kind of dread getting to Order of the Phoenix. Not because I don't like the book, I think it's a great book, but it's just the fact that it's so massive. And then funnily enough, I'm pretty sure that it's the shortest movie, or at least it's probably the least accurate movie in my opinion, so that's a little ironic. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the longest book on my shelf. I mean, I paid $30 for it. How the heck do you charge someone $30 for a pack of dead trees? I don't get it. And then that is it for the mascara. Next is lipstick, and that is your favorite book, Kiss. The book I'm picking the kissing scene from is Ignite Me by Tahara Mafi. And I'm going to be using one of my favorite lipsticks at the moment, and that is the Milani Matte Naked. And so just like the eyeliner, I'm not going to be able to talk while I do this, obviously. And so I read Ignite Me almost a year ago, and I don't remember much from the book, but I do remember this is one kissing scene. I'm not going to say who it's between because it's a love triangle and people who haven't read it yet might get upset, but basically there's this one kiss scene that just absolutely takes all for me. It is so hot and sexy, but also romantic and poetic, and it's just absolutely beautiful. If you've read Ignite Me, you probably know the scene that I'm talking about, but I remember I reread it like 17 times before I could move on with the story because I just love that kissing scene so much. And then the final question is finishing powder, and that is your favorite conclusion of a series. Clearly, I'm going with City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. And so the finishing powder I use is the Mary Kay Translucent Loose Powder. And so obviously City of Heavenly Fire is my favorite conclusion. I'm pretty sure you guys all could have predicted that anyways. It's just so satisfying. Like, I obviously won't spoil anything, but everything I want to happen happens and more, and it's just so great. And there's all of the Infernal Devices references. It's the best conclusion ever. And when I met Cassandra Clare, we talked about it for so long because it was perfect. There's nothing else I can say about it. So that is the makeup book tag. My makeup normally looks way less shitty than this, I promise, but it's hot and I left my C on and it just didn't turn out right, but I finally got around to doing this tag, so that's a positive thing. I'm going to be tagging a couple of people in the description, so if you think you might be tagged, check that out. Even if you aren't tagged, you should still do this tag because it's tons of fun and super unique. But that is it for this video, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!